Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Cooking for the Family. I'm Dyvonne, and today I'm going to share with you how I make this very quick and easy appetizer that can stand alone, or either it can be part of a wonderful charcuterie board. So this is what I do. I have here a bunch of cherry tomatoes. Now if you can't find cherry tomatoes for any reason, you can substitute the cherry tomatoes for grape tomatoes. And I'm using 8 ounces of cherry tomatoes, and you can use all the way up to 10 ounces. And this recipe can also be doubled depending on how big you're making your appetizer tray, or how much or how many people you're going to serve on your charcuterie board. Now next, what I'm going to do is I'm slicing up some nice fresh basil. And what you want to do with your basil is that I went on and I washed it and I let it to air dry, and then I went on and I sliced it up, and we're going to put that aside. And with the basil, I just want the leaves. You just want to chop the leaves and slice those and not the stem. Next, I have 1 large clove of garlic. And if you don't have a large clove of garlic and your garlic is small, then you want to use 2. Then with my regular, this is a nice French baguette, I'm slicing it on an angle, and I'm going to be toasting up my baguette. Now I only slice mine about 1/2 inch or so thickness, and when it comes to toasting it up, I'm only going to toast it on one side. If you want yours extra crispy, you can definitely toast both sides. Now what I do though with the baguette is I use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and with the extra virgin olive oil, I'm just going to brush on a little bit on each side. So in this bowl, I put about a tablespoon of the olive oil, and I'm just brushing it on just on the one side because I'm only going to be toasting mine on one side. I'm going to put it on the broiler a little bit. I'm going to set this aside, but I'm going to put it on the broiler right before it's time for me to go ahead and serve it. Now when it comes to this appetizer, I like to serve it 2 different ways, 2 different styles. And I'll share with you how I like to do it, whether it's the charcuterie board or whether it's being served just on its own. Now first though, we're going to get our tomatoes into our boiling water. And with the tomatoes, what you want to do is go ahead and rinse off your tomatoes. So I had rinsed off my tomatoes actually before I started plucking them. And the water I put the tomatoes in is just plain boiling water. When they've been boiling for a few minutes, what I like to do is I take my knife and I just gently pierce them just to see how much resistance that I'm getting from them. You want your knife, the tip of your knife, to go in really easily, as well as on the side, the tomatoes are going to start to split. You do not want the tomatoes to totally split away from their skins, but you do want to see a little bit of splitting on the tomatoes before you take them out. And you also want to pierce them to make sure that your knife goes in really easily. I find that this is going to take maybe about 5 minutes, give or take a minute or 2, but about 5 minutes or so in some nice boiling water. I drain off the water well, and then I add them back to my bowl. Now while they're still nice and hot, I add in the minced garlic. Then I add in some coarse kosher salt, and that was 1/4 teaspoon of coarse kosher salt. And if you've been following some of my vlogs, you know how I love my potato masher. And so I use my potato masher to break up the tomatoes. I leave some of them just like slightly whole, just like really pressed down. And then I add to my bowl 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Now in the description box below, I will have a list of all the ingredients I use to make this really simple and quick appetizer. And this is enough to serve up with 2 sliced baguettes, so you can use 2 baguettes with this amount. And once I've mixed in the kosher salt and the olive oil, I like to go ahead and give it a taste. I start off with that 1/4 teaspoon. I give it a taste. I'm going to need a little bit more of the kosher salt, and then you can go ahead and do that to your liking. My baguette has toasted up well in the oven. It is nice, a light golden brown, exactly what we're looking for. That wonderful olive oil on top. Our tomato compote is looking wonderful, so I'm going to go ahead and serve it. This is one way that I like to serve it. One of the 2 ways is I like to take the tomato compote that we made. I go ahead and I just scoop some right on top of the nice toasty baguette like that. And then I'm also going to put a little bit of the basil leaves on each one. And then I just put it on a tray and I have it just like that. Another way that I like to do it is if it's part of my charcuterie board, I take it, put it inside of a nice dish, the tomato compote. I have the toasted baguette to the side, and then people can just go on and scoop some right on top of their baguette. Well, this is what it's looking like. Are you ready to take your bite? Go ahead and take your bite. I'm going to take my bite. Y'all, this came out so good. It's a quick and simple, inexpensive homemade appetizer. And if you like to add some mozzarella cheese, you can definitely do that as well. Well, that is it for me today. If you're not subscribed, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video and appreciate the content, don't forget to show it some love, give it a thumbs up, and click share, and share this video with a friend or family. And remember, it's always good when Dyvonne is cooking for the family. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.